Walls. Some are exciting, some are banal, and some stand beside canals. What'll it be today? You've probably already guessed. I'm here in Utrecht, the fourth largest city in the Netherlands, to find out. Utrecht is a place with a rich history, and walls are no. So Utrecht is full of history. So the history of Utrecht can be traced back to the Roman times, but it wasn't until 1122 that Henry V, the Holy Roman Emperor, designated it as a city. Thank God. And fuck it, that's enough. After that, it was the most important city in the Netherlands up until the Dutch Golden Age, when power sort of transferred to Amsterdam. But it's full. The city itself is it's kind of a tulip shape, the old city, and it's covered with a moat. And the interesting thing about the moat, which we'll come to later, Within the old city, there's also two canals which are of significant importance. That's the Utrecht, which is the old canal, and this one here beside me, which is the Utrecht, and that's the new canal. It's not that new. It's 730 years old, but it's newer than the old one. It's still used by pleasure boats for transport reasons. Beside me, you'll be able to see all of these little canal houses, and they were traditionally used for storage purposes, but most of them are now converted into like apartments and flats and things like that. I have no cameraman today, so. Behind me here, what might otherwise be mistaken for a car park is actually a bicycle parking station that's underground, and it's 3 stories underground. It fits 12,500 bicycles. It was built in 2019, so it's very recent, and it took over from the previous record, which was in Tokyo. So they had space for 9,000, and now this is the biggest right here in Utrecht. Has space for 12,500 bicycles, and incidentally, it's still not enough. They're bicycle mad in this place. There's also a bike shop, all the facilities you would need as a cyclist. It was finished in 2019, and to be honest, you could only be impressed. And you just cycle in and cycle out, easy. And here, behold the Ink Pot, which is the largest brick building in the Netherlands. It was actually built 100 years ago last year. It's called the Ink Pot because it looks like a pot of ink. It's so big, it's got 22 million bricks, and it needed so many bricks when it was built that they actually had to build 2 factories to make the bricks to make the building. So that's how big it was. That was the post-war trade crisis. Not a trade crisis, so to speak, but just a general lack of accessibility to construction materials and that kind of thing. But yeah, impressive. And as you can see, there's actually a spaceship there, and that came from an installation during the turn of the millennium. There was 20 installations around Utrecht, and they kept that one. So it's still there. It's a spaceship. So I'm here at the moat. This is the outer section of Utrecht. There's a boat going by on the canal there. Historically it would have looked a lot like this. There was also a rampart, a wall, which is no longer here. Bummer, but we must go on. But yeah, this boat would have been a car 2 years ago. In 2020, this was a motorway that was converted back to its historical use. So now exactly you have pleasure boats instead of cars, and it's pretty great, it must be said. So on the left you'll be able to see the Dome Tower, and on the right you can see the St. Martin's Cathedral. Now those two buildings used to be connected, but this plaza was actually created by a tornado in the year 1674 that ripped through the middle of Utrecht, and it caused the central section to collapse. So now there's this lovely, significantly underused plaza. I'm also reliably informed that the scaffolding on that building is the largest in the world of its type. Very good. Full of surprises, this place, Utrecht.